shortening. As well as making contractions, sometimes we shorten the sound of some contractions, like, for example, woulda. So this comes from would've, which in turn comes from the two words would have. So would have contracted to would've and shortened even further to woulda. This is very, very common in our normal daily conversations, especially our casual conversations. Next up, we have shoulda, very, very similar. That comes from the contraction should've from should have. Should have becomes should've becomes shoulda. I'll use these in some sentences in a moment. And lastly, again, very similar, coulda. The contraction is could've from could have. Could have, could've, coulda. I think what happened in the English language is that we started making these contractions, could've, would've, should've. And again, when we say them quickly in sentences over time, we've said them shorter and shorter. So that sound, could've, gets shortened to coulda. I could have gone to the party, but I was a bit too tired. I should have done my homework, but I didn't. I would have liked to have done it, but I didn't end up doing it. We'll talk more about the usage of these a little bit later on. For now, though, let's take a look at doing this with certain phrases. For example, gonna from going to. Hopefully you guys have heard some of these before. You probably will have heard them from English speakers or on TV or in movies, or maybe from your teachers before, maybe without even realizing it. Gonna, I'm gonna go to the park later. Wanna from want to, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Dunno from don't know, I don't know what time I'm gonna be there, dunno. Kinda is from kind of, I'm kinda tired, I wish I kinda hadn't done it. And outer from out of, and with outer, like we discussed before with these hard T sounds, we generally soften these to a softer D sound, outer. We've got to get out of here. Let's take a look at these used in some example conversations. First of all, up here, conversation between these two friends, Leanne and Katie. I don't want to go out tonight. What? I thought we were going to go see a movie. Are you sure you won't come? I don't know. I'm kind of tired. Maybe I should have had a nap earlier. Let's go through these. Wanna is want to. I don't want to go out tonight. I don't want to go out tonight. Gonna from going to. I thought we were going to go see a movie. I thought we were going to go see a movie. And again, these are said quite quickly when they're part of a longer sentence. We were going to go see a movie. I don't want to go out tonight. We have dunno from don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kinda tired, kind of, meaning sort of, slightly. I'm kind of tired. Maybe I shoulda had a nap earlier. Should have. Another important thing, by the way, when it comes to should have and would have and could have, is to remember that the contraction should have, would have, could have are from the verb to have and not from the word of. A lot of native speakers, surprisingly, get this confused and they say would of or should of. That's incorrect. The word is have, not of. Worth remembering that as well. Let's finish this page up with a conversation between Alan and Dan. This is more of a business conversation, again showing us that we can use these things in business situations as well. We've got so much paperwork to do. Yeah, we're gonna have to work pretty hard to finish it, and it's already 6 p.m. I wish we'd started earlier. So in this case, we're using gonna as our shortening, and we've also got we've, we're, and we'd as our common contractions. Actually, I think we could probably also use oughta in this conversation between Alan and Dan. We talked about that it's already 6 p.m. So maybe Alan says, we're not going to get out of here before 8 or 9 o'clock. And in fact, we could use gonna. We're not going to get out of here before 8 or 9 o'clock. They're going to have to stay late. Okay, let's move on again. And we're going to first of all take a look at when we can and can't use contractions. Very important. You're probably asking yourselves, when do I use them? When should I not use them? Are there any rules? The good news is most of the time it's okay. So using the typical contractions, in other words, those with apostrophes in them in written English, I'm, your, it's, don't, will, they'll, can't, and so on, is fine in all cases. Even in formal situations, they're absolutely fine. Just go ahead and use them. Don't worry about them being informal or inappropriate or rude. In fact, I'd encourage you to put them in there. It's just the easiest, most natural way of speaking. The more casual ones, the shortened ones, gonna, wanna, shoulda, and so on, they're best used with people you know well, your friends, your family, and the colleagues you speak to every day. However, I would suggest not using those ones like gonna and woulda in the more formal situations, like with people you respect, like a boss, a senior family member perhaps, or people you don't know so well, like, again, your boss, the CEO of your company, or a new client. And as you can tell from those examples, generally related more to business situations. The more formal business situations, I'd encourage you not to use gonna, wanna, dunno, kinda. They're best used in pretty much everything else, but not the most formal situations. Same as if you were giving a speech, presentation, or lecture professionally, then again, try and use the more formal form of talking. But you can definitely use the other contractions. That's not a problem at all. So, a very important point to mention though, an important time when we do not use contractions is for emphasis. We want to emphasize something. Just like I've done in this sentence here, rather than saying don't, an important time we don't use, I've separated the words into do not. An important time when we do not use contractions for emphasis. Let's take a look at that in an example sentence just below between Greg and Samantha. I really do not want to go to the party tonight. I promise it will be good. So of course in this sentence, Greg could say don't. I really don't want to go to the party tonight. That's fine. That's natural. In this case though, to emphasize the way he thinks or feels or his current attitude, Greg separates the words, emphasizes not. In this case, I really do not want to go to the party tonight. Emphasizes his feelings here. Same is true with Samantha. She could say it'll. I promise it'll be good. But again, she wants to emphasize the fact that the party will be good, so she separates the words. I promise it will be good. You can do this with lots of different things. For example, maybe somebody says, you need to leave now or you're going to be late for work. Contraction, you're right, I am going to be late for work. Rather than I am. Oh, you're right, I am going to be late for work. So it is used for emphasis. Very important. Now, I mentioned earlier a little rule about using have as a contraction. We need to use got. Let's take a look at this now. So when making a contraction with have, we've, I've, they've, and so on, we generally do not use an article, a or an, immediately after it. Instead, we add the word got before the article. Let's look at some examples here to describe exactly that. So if I said we have a long way to go, and I want to make the sentence more natural, so I contract we have to we've, I then have to add the word got into the sentence before the article. We've got a long way to go. I can't say we've I have to put got in there. We've got a long way to go. The same is true here. You have a cute dog. I want to contract you have to you've, so I say you've got a cute dog. I can't say you've a cute dog. I've got to add that word got into the sentence. You've got a cute dog. The same is true with determiners and pronouns, as we can see below, like my or some. Again, let's take a look at that in some sentences. He has my laptop. Again, let's contract he has to he's. But, of course, we need to add the word got in. He's got my laptop. They have some money for you. I want to contract they have to they've. So again, I need to put got before the word some. They've got some money for you. In fact, generally, you need to do this if you contract with the word have, I've, they've, you've. Normally, the following word will be got. I've got 10 minutes before I have to go to work. I have 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes. So if you're using have as a contraction, think about using got as the next word. It's likely that you will need it. Now, let's take a look at the last bit of information on this page. It is interesting and a bit odd that we rarely contract there are to there're. There are to there're. It is the correct contraction, but we generally don't use there're, probably because it's quite tricky to say there're, especially in a quick sentence. So instead, we generally use theirs for singular and plural. So there is becomes theirs, but there are also becomes theirs. This has become very, very common in modern daily English. Let's take a look at an example. So if we say there are some people outside, people plural, so the verb to be is are, there are some people outside, and we want to contract it, we don't say there, we say there's. There's some people outside. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But that is what we do. Now, you could say there are some people outside. You can say that, but generally you'll find modern native speakers, myself included, we don't say there. We generally say there's. So try that out. It really makes it more natural and easier to say, I would suggest.